Hello everyone and welcome to In the Newsroom. I'm Hwang Ji-hye. In the next half hour or so, we'll be bringing you the behind-the-scenes look on how we deliver the news to you and look at some of the stories that made headlines this week. In the Newsroom begins right now.
In this week's headlines, Korea's 300th seat parliament kicks off its new four-year term, although the inaugural session has yet to take place. Amid international condemnation over North Korea's human rights abuses, Washington's human rights envoy Robert King is set to travel South Korea, Japan, and China in the coming weeks to seek ways to pressure Pyongyang to change. North Korea has declared itself as a nuclear-armed state in its revised constitution. The United States was quick to respond, saying the communist state should not be recognized as a nuclear power. Two suspected North Korean spies have been arrested for jamming of GPS satellite navigation signals, which affected hundreds of commercial flights and ships in South Korea earlier this month. The European Union says it will give Spain more time to bring down the deficit to EU limit. However, fears over Spain's worsening recession has sent stock markets in the US and Europe tumbling down. And here in Korea, Korea's business confidence for June tumbles from a month earlier, as companies are increasingly spooked by the long-running Eurozone debt crisis and slowing growth in China. China and Japan allow traders and financial investors to skip the greenback when they buy and sell currencies of the two nations. This marks the first time Beijing has let a non-US currency trade directly with the yuan. Over in the United States, after what seemed like a long primary battle, Mitt Romney clinches the Republican presidential nomination with a victory in Texas. Well, Ji-hye, that's all for this week's headlines after what seemed like another eventful week for us reporters.
Well, Sung-hee, it seems like you're everywhere. Last week, we saw you in Busan covering a motor show, and today you're in the southern port city of Yeosu. I believe this is your fourth time. I think it's about time we set you an office there.
That's right, Ji-hye, but I think it would be the same for all the reporters covering the Yeosu Expo, as it's a 3-month-long exposition. But you know what? This is my 5th visit to Yeosu, and I'm actually feeling quite at home.
From the preparation stage to the grand opening, you've covered it all. So the Expo is well into its 3rd week. How are things looking like so far?
Well, I'm seeing a lot of visitors here right now, and it's a weekday afternoon, so that's definitely good. Earlier, there were concerns that the turnout for the Yeosu Expo wasn't as high as expected. The organizing committee set a goal of having 8 million visitors, and the figure is nearing 1 million mark. So I think we'll have to wait and see if the organizing committee is able to reach its goal. However, one disappointing factor is that the committee is, in my point of view, unable to deal with a flood of people. It's still struggling when there is a lot of people. So what I think they should do for the rest of this event is try to find a way so that these visitors can enjoy the Expo as comfortably as possible and get their money's worth.
TH1, wow, it's been a while since we had you guys on this segment. How have you guys been?
Well, I've been to Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan last week. It was my first news coverage overseas, and it was actually a medical team together with an institution called Korea Health Industry Development Institute was there to promote Korea's advanced medical technologies and skills, and also to bring the patients there to Korea so that they can have all the surgeries or so they can receive the advanced medical services here in Korea. Here at the Uzbekistan Republican Clinical No. 1 Hospital in the capital city of Tashkent last Saturday, Roh Tae-ho, a doctor from Korea's St. Mary's Hospital, arrived to treat local patients. Doctors paid close attention to Roh's words as he gave out recommendations on how to cure their patients. And 5 other doctors from Korea also provided medical treatments for free to a total of 120 local patients. Doctors from Sejong General Hospital and Jeonnam National University Hwasun Hospital joined the volunteer medical service for patients in Tashkent. They included cardiologists and cancer specialists. The cases that Korean doctors examined were mainly those that local doctors had trouble diagnosing. The visit, therefore, was not just an opportunity for local doctors to learn from the Korean medical teams, but also an opportunity for patients to be cured of their illnesses.
Yeah, you've been there for a while.
Yes, I've been there for 8 days, and I was 4 days in Kazakhstan and 4 days in Uzbekistan. And
yeah, we don't know much about the region. Well, personally, I don't. So can you tell us more about it?
They speak Russian. And they are, Uzbekistan is a communist regime, so most of the places are owned by the government. And
were there strict restrictions on media?
Not really. If we have that document, official document that says we're media, that we're not really banned from any activities.
Yeah, I've seen you send reports like every day during these 8 days. And it must be very hectic. You covered on the medical stories and about Korean. Right. And you covered a variety of stories in many segments of your special reports. So what was the most difficult part of your reporting?
The thing that I found the most difficult was the communicating problem. Because I couldn't directly talk to the person that I want to interview who are local patients there, because
they speak Russian.
Yeah.
So was there any interpreter?
There were, but yeah, it wasn't. I didn't feel like really interviewing them because I couldn't talk directly to them. I couldn't ask questions right away after they say something. So yeah, so it was hard to kind of make him say something or make him do something for me. So
what did you learn from this experience?
I really learned how to control the whole situation as a news reporter when I get to some kind of site that I have to do a report. And I also learned that I should be more in charge of the situation, to do this and that right away, and if situation changes, I should be able to decide right away.
Make decisions.
Yeah,
right.
I learned a lot about those stuff.
Yes, yeah, we thoroughly, like Shuan said, we thoroughly enjoyed your report, and it was great to see our Korean team out there, spreading and advancing their medical technology abroad. But welcome back.
Thank you.
And back here in the nation, Chuan, as a correspondent for Culture You Are, what was the highlight of this week's cultural front?
Oh, there are many cultural events are going on, but this week was very special because on Monday was Buddha's birthday. On this day, temples around the nation are decorated with thousands of lotus lanterns and are packed with people. This is Buddha's birthday. Some 2,500 years ago, Buddha came to the world to teach love and compassion towards fellow human beings and all the living things around us in nature. Special ceremonies were held at around 20,000 temples across Korea to honor and enjoy the festive occasion. The Jogae Order, the largest in Korea, hosted a celebration at Jogae Temple in central Seoul. The Buddha's birthday has traditionally been celebrated in many East Asian countries, including Korea, every April 8th in the lunar calendar, which fell on Monday this year.
Let's talk more about the celebrations. I'm sure nationwide there were ceremonies and rituals. Can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, there are around 20,000 temples across in Korea, and I guess every temple had their own celebration. So people in Korea all celebrated the day. But some people who didn't really go to temples, they have enjoyed their own holidays because it was a Monday, and so we got 3-day holidays.
Exactly. Yeah, I remember giving a constant update on the traffic conditions on that very Monday, and a lot of people were spending their time not at home, but on the highways trying to get back home. Exactly. At one point, it took almost 6 hours from Busan to Seoul.
And the weather was really nice.
It was. Yeah,
You know, it's beautiful May. So one more cultural news is about the Yeosu Expo, which has been running for more than 2 weeks, and you've been there, and I've been there. So I remember one of my friends actually went to Yeosu to visit the Expo with her family, and it wasn't only her story. Daily visitors to Yeosu Expo exceeded 100,000 on Sunday, which was the first time ever, and they aim to attract more than 8 million people during this 3 months event. And so far it is around 700,000.
So let's talk about next week or June. Do you guys have any stories?
Oh, big festival is coming up for, like, you know, we are Arirang TV, and once I covered about the meaning of Arirang and Arirang exhibition, and there's 2 other big Arirang festivals coming up, one for this weekend and other for the next week. The Arirang Festival, because the Korean government is planning to register Arirang as our own traditional national heritage to the UNESCO around 10th of June.
I think that's meaningful, especially knowing that China was trying to to register the song as their
They're like minor ethnics.
Yeah, the song of their minority people.
Groups.
Yeah.
But Arirang is like Korean soul. Arirang is the song of songs for Koreans. So the cultural ministry in Korea is actively protect this. Yep. So there are 2 Arirang festivals coming up, and now we're covering both of them.
Wow. Well, thank you, Ji-hye and Ji-won, for the contribution this week, and hope to see you guys very soon.
Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Ji, or you can call me Mike. And I'm here for the Korea International Broadcast Audio and Lighting show today, and I'll be taking a look around here. KOBA show is the biggest show in Korea, in which it showcases the audio, lighting, and everything that's to do with broadcasting. Since Korea is actually looking forward to a digital, televised broadcasting system due to be launched in December, so I think this show has a very good significance this year. I'm just trying to get a sense of what this place is and what's being exhibited here.
저희 체포해도 됐어요. 체포
So I'm just taking a brief look around, so later on I can talk with my camera crew on how to get some footages and do some interviews here. Oh, 너무 눈부셔. I'm trying to try to see which people maybe I could do some more interviews on for my report today. So I'm just trying to follow them up. As you can see, our president of Arirang, she was also here to look around this fair. And also, as you can see, Arirang is also a part of the major broadcast in Korea. So I'm very proud of that. 혹시 오전 중으로 가능하신가요? 이따 네네. 네, 알겠습니다. 네, 감사합니다. Yes, so I got another interview, so a good VIP person to get an interview on, so I'm happy for that. Yeah. 저는 아리랑 방송의 지명길 기자라고 하고요. 저희가 제가 경제인데 TV 이런 거 많이 담당해서 나중에
그러면은 제가 명함 드릴 테니까 지금
네네.
연락 주세요.
네네, 알겠습니다. I just got a new I was just transferring some name cards in exchange order for future in-depth for you guys to watch. 네, 명함 감사합니다. 틀리시면 당하지 마시고 그냥 다시 2012 코바 관련해서 살짝 소개만 좀.
2012 코바는 국제방송 음향 조명기기전인데요. The Koba show is focused on how the broadcast will evolve in the near future, and we hope this exhibition will be a cornerstone in leading the technology in the broadcast industry.
This is about like CGs, right?
It's a CG system, but as you can see, you can get 3 screens.
All 3 screens?
Yeah, this is 3 projectors here, making an ultra wide.
Would you mind like can I get an interview of you like while you're here, like to promote, you know?
Sure.
Okay.
What makes it special is that it's a program that integrates all your multimedia stuff. You can instantly change the background. Basically, here's your library.
I thought it would be interesting to get some person from the industry, and also this is all about the word graphics and stuff, and like he'll be sponsoring the London Olympics, so that's why I thought it'd be really interesting to get an interview. 감사합니다.
감사합니다.
It seems there weren't that many editing changes, so I'm happy for that. So, Koba show offers not only the latest trends in broadcasting. I think my report for today for the exhibition is finally over, and I got all the things I want: my reports, my sound bites, my stand-up, and now I just need to go back to the office to do some more dubbings and to look through some of my mistakes if I made any. And I guess I'll have to go back to also do my footages, my picture footages, my latest show. So hope things will go good. The Koba show offers not only the latest technology in broadcasting, but also technologies more intimate to our daily lives, such as home networking, T-commerce, and tailored TV portals.
Thanks for tuning in to Arirang News. That wraps up our newscast for today. I'm Kim Han-ul in Seoul. Enjoy the rest of the day and be sure to catch us next at Arirang's early news edition at 6. See you then.
And I'm always so very used to seeing her out on a field covering stories for the National Defense Ministry. Maybe they're on, drills, or she's in Thailand covering a drill, and it's always active. But
is she done? Oh, okay. Let's go down and talk to her.
Yeah, sure.
So, Han-ul, we watched your newscast just now. You looked great.
Thank you.
Yeah, you look great.
So you look nervous?
Were you nervous?
I was, but I tried not to look nervous.
Really? You've been sitting in for Kanyang for almost a week now. So, how did you find experience?
It was a very interesting experience for me because I had to use a different set of skills for actually anchoring the news compared to while I was on the field covering stories. One of the major differences was that I was under a lot of time pressure, but a different kind of time pressure, because usually reporters are always under time pressure to meet the deadline to air their story by a certain time. But I was under time pressure to make sure that everything was in order, everything has been looked at. So it almost felt like I was hosting a party for my guests, and I had to make sure everybody's potluck dish has arrived and everything's cooked, ready. And compared to while I was reporting, I was the one preparing the dishes and presenting it to the host. So
right. It's certainly more than just reading and looking good on camera, right?
There were so many things that were going on behind the scenes that I didn't even realize the anchors had to do. For example, the headlines. I didn't know that the anchor had to go through the headlines, actually type out the headlines, type out the slugs, the CGs for the headlines, and going to the minute details of the information that was put on those headlines. So those kind of fact-checking, cross-checking, making sure that things arrived on time, calling up the reporters to double-check that the numbers are correct.
Any difficulties? Did you experience any difficulties while doing the news for 2 o'clock?
There was this one little incident where I was expecting to be off camera, and there was going to be a video roll that was supposed to cover me, and the prompter started acting up a little bit, so I had to look down to read the paper, but that
went on air.
So you didn't realize that you were actually on air while reading the.
You know what though? I
script.
knew I was on air, but I had no choice because the prompter was saying something else, and I had to keep reading the news. So in my mind, I'm like, oh shoot, this is going on air.
I mean, Hyung-jo, you must know better because you do live shows every day, almost an hour long, segment, and news anchors need to be, I don't know, handle situations with grace and confidence, and it's
calm.
Exactly.
Keeping calm is the most difficult thing that I've ever had to do hosting a live show, because if you are nervous, it shows immediately. If you go, then it's, people notice that you are nervous, and I really had to make sure that I don't look nervous. And when I was actually reporting as a reporter, news reporter, I think I did have a tendency to rely on the teleprompters a lot because it's there, why not use it? But now I always knew that we always had to think that you don't have that luxury of having the teleprompter. And that's always, it's the basic for being a journalist, TV journalist. You need to be able to just right away just report the scene.
Yeah, being a great communicator.
Yeah, exactly. And I always knew that, and I always tried to do that. But for some reason, if it's there, why not use it, I think I fell into that trap. And when we started doing the Korea Today show, we actually don't have a teleprompter when we're on the couch. So it was a bit of a challenge for me. I still trip over some of my words, and I sometimes really when you have that moment of tongue twisters, for example, like this week,
we all have them.
I had a hard time pronouncing irregularities. And it just kept on going, and then Young had to help me out. So that was one of the most frightening moments for me. But I think that's the beauty of hosting a live show and anchoring a news.
Yeah, when I'm hosting the show with Daniel, I feel so much better. Just to have like
emotional support.
Yeah, a co-anchor is just so great. So I'm always happy to see Daniel when he walks into the office.
I see. Any other challenges? Anything that you learned from this experience?
I think what I learned was you really need to be quick in judgment. When you're making a judgment like, okay, I need to skip this, or I need to cut things short, especially when I'm doing like interviews with an expert and we're running over time and I need to make a judgment, okay, I need to cut him off right now, otherwise we're gonna run over. So making judgments like that, and when things go wrong, when there's a technical difficulty, kind of like you said, keeping calm and just being quick with your brain, so what's gonna be my next move. And
you also have to make it look like it's flowing smoothly. You can't just be like, oh, okay, we were out of time. Thank you for being here. That was actually one of my challenges as well, because our producers tell us on using our intercom, and then I'm listening to them, but at the same time I'm speaking. But then if they're saying, okay, Hyung-kyung, just we're running out of time, so make it short, and then I'm going, my speech starts to really, fasten. It really just fastens up, and I have to slow it down. And that was one of the things that I had to learn from my mistakes and my experience as well.
Wow, experience, great. You must miss the ministry. I'm sure the National Defense Ministry is missing you terribly. So we'll be seeing you next week in the ministry?
Yes, and we have a Memorial Day week coming up next week. So be sure on Wednesday. So I'll be covering a story on that.
It was great. Looking forward to it.
Yay.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye. How are things there? I mean, 이거 쓰시라. 아, 이거 아닌데.
Here. 됐나요?
세계 최초로 이제 삼성하고 KBS
Enjoy the 다시 하고 싶다. 돌리고 있어요?